Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to yet another stream. I think I'm going to be able to talk without sounding like I'm having a mild stroke at all times today. Thankfully. Also, something I don't understand is that it starts out as 3 concurrent viewers every single time, then it always just dips to 1. So maybe 3 people show up, they're like, this isn't worth my time, then 2 of them leave, then 1 stays. I guess, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to be playing more Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, and I'm gonna try to play this every day, as I stated last time. I really miss my... I'm not gonna say the full thing, because it's pretty easy to get canceled nowadays, so, yeah. Not saying that that's a good or a bad thing, just saying that, I'm gonna avoid it. Alright, let us continue. And, yeah, I'm hoping to maybe get this trial done today. If not, I'll do it tomorrow, because I think we're getting pretty close to finishing the trial. It would seem that the concept of logic does not exist in this world. Yeah, you said it, brother. Right. Then let's take down... oh, good lord. Then let's take this chance to knock their case down a peg or 2. I'm worried if we keep this up, we'll all be joining a spell in a one-way trip to the flames. Maybe. Again, why does he always do that? He looks like he's about to flip and, I don't know, take a dive into the water. Most intriguing. A knight allows his sword to speak for him during battle. You have spoken with the sword of words. So be it. I, too, shall wield such a blade. What do you mean? Sir Blue Knight, there appears to be a hole in this logic of yours. I really miss my wig, da-da-da-da. A hole? According to the earlier testimony, it was believed the accused had the lantern hanging from her wrist by the handle. However, she supposedly dropped it, hence it being covered in mud. That's right. Well, that may be true. It does not necessarily mean the accused was therefore unable to use magic. It is merely a question of when she dropped the witch's scepter. Sup, hello there. Welcome to the stream. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? Hernia. I met this doctor who looked like Sigourney Weaver. It is very simple, my lord. The accused, while first holding the lantern and the witch's scepter, cast her magic. Then, she dropped both the lantern and the scepter. Hello there, General Kenobi. You are a bold one. The witch's scepter was dropped after the spell was cast. Of course, yes, that must be it. What say you, Sir Blue Knight? That is but a taste of the knightly knowledge of the Inquisition. That song is great, indeed. One of the greatest. Hold on, I'm gonna share this with someone in case he shows up. Okay, done with that. Exemplary. I expected nothing less from the hand of Barnum. Oh, to be able to shake that powerful hand someday. That Inquisitor isn't quite what he first appeared. Yeah, sure seems that way. Just a moment ago, it seemed like he'd never heard of using logical debate, good lord. Now he's suddenly using it against us. This guy's no joke, that's for sure. Again, he keeps making that weird pose. I don't understand. Now then, most honorable witnesses, I ask that you lend us your aid once more. I request that all of you testify to the court once more. Tell us which occurred first, the dropping of the lantern or the casting of the spell. Alright, of course they're going to testify against me, so, it doesn't really matter the fact that you gave them 2 options. This song is about equality. Witnesses, you may now begin your testimonies. Tell this court in your own words about the sequence of events which transpired tonight. It's weird to think that we're having a trial the same night as the crime itself, but whatever. Of course, the lantern fell to the ground after the incantation of Ignace. Sploosh. I'm as sure as Snowy is white. I made certain to keep my eyes peeled on that milk bucket after all. Besides, how can you be sure the lantern fell just because it had a little mud on it? These eyes do not lie. I saw the lantern in the accused hands when the incantation was uttered. Figures. Their testimonies are all over the place now. These 4 testimonies, they are most interesting. The witnesses all saw the same thing, and yet people's memories are evidently quite fickle. They can never be a true reliable source. Well then, Professor, with enough poking and prodding, I bet we can really cause their testimonies to crumble. Yeah, let's hope. The other day, my Wiggo went to work. He said he picked up a box that was heavy and it really hurt. You know the rest. Yeah. Of course, we need to exploit their fickle memories to turn this thing around. We've got this, Nick. We'll press them so hard they won't even remember what they had for breakfast. I think that's a bit too hard. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast. Maybe he didn't have breakfast. Now, Sir Baker, you may begin your interrogation. About the sequence of events. Of course, the lantern fell to the ground after the incantation of Ignace. Sploosh.
Hold it!
The lantern fell after the incantation. Are you positive about that? I say, I am positively positive that I am positive. I hear her voice and then sploosh. That sploosh, was that the sound of the lantern hitting the ground? Indeed, but of course, do you see? But if you look at the lantern, you'll notice that the glass is shattered. You specifically said you heard a sploosh. Shouldn't you have heard the sound of the glass shattering when it hit the ground? The sound of glass shattering? No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift. I was present in the area a bit farther away from the crime scene, you see. I have no recollection of hearing such a sound. I wonder what's happening to the Wright here. What's she doing? No recollection? Precisely so. Good lord. This penguin wise guy. Okay, yeah, he's just reciting the lyrics of a song. I'll have you know, I can easily hear a dog barking across town. Do not underestimate my hearing. I wasn't. Relax, Grandpa. There is nothing of interest in this testimony. Will the witness with the goat please proceed with her testimony? Huh? Ah, right, you mean us? You startled us, didn't he, Snowy?
Hold it!
But earlier, you stated that Miss Cantabella had the lantern hanging from her wrist. Well, not quite. We didn't say for certain, we only believed it was on her wrist. Oh, come on. Believed? Yes, precisely. You know how you sniff milk when you're not quite sure if it's gone bad, and then your nose is assaulted by that foul odor that you weren't expecting? Well, it's a bit like that. Heed my words, madam. Do not make a habit of stealing, for your own safety. We said we're sorry. Please, it was all Snowy's fault. Oh, brother. Just turning up the brightness. Anyway, we can confidently say that we both saw the milk bucket, right, Precious? And as for the lantern falling, we don't know much about that, do we now, Schnookums? Besides, how can you be sure that the lantern fell just because it has a little mud on it?
Hold it!
Well, what else did it do? What do you mean? Well, maybe the mud was already on the lantern before any of that happened. Did you ever think of that? Well, it probably wouldn't have been broken before any of this happened. Like, maybe it's been there since last week. It did rain last week too, after all. And if that's the case, then there really isn't any point arguing about whether or not she dropped the lantern, right? Indeed. What say you, Defender? I say, take a closer look at the lantern. You'll notice there's mud on the glass. Mud on the glass? The lantern wouldn't be very useful with all that mud blocking out the light. Miss Kira, I'd say your little theory regarding this lantern is muddy at best. I could point out witnesses till the cows come home. But that wouldn't turn this testimony into anything I can use. I've got to find a lead somewhere. Swag. These eyes do not lie. I saw the lantern in the accused's hands when the incantation was uttered.
Hold it!
This is important. Are you sure you really saw that lantern? You are but a petty baker, are you not? It is not your place to be telling me what is important. There is but one thing of importance. Ridding this town of its witches as quickly as possible.
Objection.
Hardly. I'd say this is far more important. What? We're trying to find out the truth here. How absurd. That girl is a witch, I say. A witch. I would stake my entrance into the Knights of the Inquisition on it. Listen well, whelp. Yes, Sir Barnum. Many young men within the ranks of the knighthood share your level of passion. However, you let your ambition completely blind you, the same way that a muddy lantern leaves one blind and helpless in the dark. What? This guy. Yes, indeed. I would say he is quite the tough motivator. What do you think, Nick? Did you notice anything fishy? Yeah, possibly. I think there may be something I can use. And what is that? Really? Wow, I didn't hear anything special. Neither did I. There was definitely something out of place about that one witness's testimony. It was something I haven't noticed from any of the other witnesses so far. It appears you may have found something, Mr. Wright. A 4-witness cross-examination. This is something I've never done before. Yeah. But then, maybe there's another way I should be tackling this. I believe it is worth trusting their intuition, Mr. Wright. Okay, got it. Alright, let's try pressing that old man one more time. Alright, so it's the old man. Of course, the lantern fell to the ground after the incantation of Ignace. Sploosh. The lantern fell after the incantation. Are you positive about that? I say, I am positively positive that I am positive. I heard her voice and then sploosh. Sploosh, was that the sound of the lantern hitting the ground? Indeed, but of course, do you see? But if you look at the lantern, you'll notice that the glass is shattered. You specifically said you heard a sploosh. Shouldn't you have heard the sound of the glass shattering when it hit the ground? The sound of the glass shattering? No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift.
Hold it!
There it is, right there. I knew I heard something strange. Huh? But old Greybeard didn't say anything weird. Oh, it was to the right here. My, it's not the old guy that said something weird. It's the person next to him. Next to him? Ah, look there, Professor. That goat lady. She looks really deep in thought. It would seem she has noticed something odd in this elderly gentleman's testimony. Ah, that's right. These cross-examinations have 4 witnesses. Hey, Nick, it looks like we're not the only ones paying attention to these testimonies. You're right. Which means, if they're all listening to each other's testimonies... Correct, Mr. Wright. Each witness is fully aware of themselves and their own actions when in the middle of their own testimonies. However, it is while listening to the testimonies of others that the witnesses may sometimes reveal the most valuable information. I see. It's habitual. They can't tell they're doing it, but I can. And I'm going to use it to turn the tide back in our favor. In fact, I do believe I may have spotted our first opening in which to trust this new technique. Good lord. Mr. Wright, could I draw your attention to the touchscreen? The touchscreen? Yeah. Sliding the magnifying glass during a witness testimony will allow you to shift your focus across the other witnesses. Right, so the important thing here isn't the witness that's in mid... Alright, yeah, alright. It's just a matter of catching them off guard and questioning them. What are you waiting for, Nick? Let's give it a shot. How about we try questioning the goat lady next to old Greybeard? Okay, all I have to do is slide the magnifying glass over to that witness. Yeah. The sound of glass shattering. No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift.
Hang on!
Hang on! Excuse me, Miss Mary. Oh, do you mean us? But Snowy and I have nothing else left to say. I knew it. I caught her completely by surprise. Mr. Wordsmith just gave his testimony. He told us all about the sound he heard when the lantern fell to the ground. Mr. Wordsmith didn't seem too sure, but I wonder if you might happen to have something to say about this. Huh? Well, that's... Is that alright, Sir Barnum? May we answer the question? And then my wigga died. Do what you will, madam. There is no need for formalities. Huh? Well, we'll try and explain, won't we, Snowy? The truth is, we did hear something. Please read this, Tristan. Alright. Read what? That is to say, we heard the sound of the lantern's glass shattering. We're sure of it. It was frighteningly loud. It quite startled us, didn't it? Snowy dear, I looked in the direction of the sound, but I'm still busy, but at least I'm here in spirit. Alright. Well, although you're not gonna be able to watch the full thing, it's, yep. Nice to see you here, George. Hold on. But I think you got hernias. He said, oh no, I got me a hernias. I know this doctor that looked like Sigourney Weaver. He said oh my god. He said he ain't got no money for a doctor. So we went to a party. And then my wigga died. I really miss my wigga. Da-da-da-da. I really miss my wigga. Something like that. I don't know. It quite startled us, didn't it, Snowy dear? I looked in the direction of the sound, but I couldn't see anything, let alone the girl or two thieves. It was a tad dark, after all. When the glass shattered, the flame inside must have gone out. Hence she could not see them. That seems to be the gist of it. Then, as I peered into the darkness, I heard it. You heard it? What did you hear exactly? You know, that I heard. The incantation for the spell Ignaze, not smell. I don't know why I would say smell. I really just don't know anymore, frankly. Yeah. What did you just say? Now hold it right there, witness. Yes, my lord. The glass shattered when the lantern fell, then after that you heard the incantation for the spell Ignaze? Do you swear to this court that this is without a doubt correct? Yes, maybe, I think. How about my testimony? What of my oratorical observations? I really miss my wigga. Yeah, I miss my wigga too. That blasted spell, Ignaze, occurred first. Then the lantern plummeted to the ground. I heard no such thing. There was no sound of shattering glass. Absurd. Simply absurd. So the lantern fell and the glass shattered. That does not change the fact that this girl is a witch. I hate to disappoint you, but that's not quite the case. In fact, this testimony changes things a lot. Wouldn't you agree, Inquisitor Barnum? What is the meaning of this? Let's go over what we know so far. Was at the hospital bed. Said, Wigga, are you dead? My Wigga said, yeah. And I said, no. Oh, Wigga, why'd you have to go? My Wigga, go! I reached out for his ghost in slow-mo. I pulled the trigger for my Wigga and I burst in the air. And the nurse said, you can't do this here. I said, bitch, I don't care. You don't care? Well, this part's important. Help me up this Wigga up and put him in dead Wigga storage. You joking? I said, I'm joking. It's just a joke. I'm gonna shoot you in the face and call it a joke. Let's go. The best way to cheer up is to laugh. I'll cheer up after this bloodbath. I want the whole world to know what it's like to lose a Wigga. Alright, I'm gonna stop now. Let's go over what we know so far. In order for a witch to use any magic, they must be holding a witch's scepter. And yet, none of the four witnesses saw the defendant holding a scepter of any kind. That's because the scepter was made to disappear with the smell de Mary, correct? At the time of the crime, the two victims grabbed Miss Cantabella's arm, causing her to drop the lantern onto the ground. If, at the time, she was in fact holding an invisible scepter, then the scepter must have fallen when she dropped the lantern. Now, let's say, hypothetically, that Miss Cantabella really is a witch. In order to use any magic, she would have to recite the spell before dropping the scepter. However, as our witness, Miss Mary, has just stated in her testimony, she heard the incantation for Ignace after hearing the lantern's glass shatter. Look at his eyes. You do all understand what this means, don't you? It means that Miss Cantabella, the supposed witch you've locked up, could not possibly have cast any magic. Therefore, the defendant, Espella Cantabella, is clearly, in no way, shape, or form a witch. What? Oh, bah! Oh, what the heck? Such frivolity, something like that. Do you realize what you're insinuating? Do you really think she is not a witch? Such nonsense. Do any of you even listen to my testimony? We did, but you're wrong. There was no glass shattering. Are you calling me a liar, Missy? You couldn't even see the mud on the lantern when it was plain as day. What ridiculous claims, all of you. Oh, hush, take your little toy sword and go back to playing pretend, Sir Knight. I don't care. Witness, this is a court of law, not a playground. Must I remind you of the importance of these proceedings? Witches and their magic threaten our fair town of Labyrinthia. Your words here today could decide the fate of every single citizen within our walls. Do you understand? As such, I expect each of you to take your role seriously and testify honestly about what you saw. In all my days as judge of this court, I have never seen such behavior. Behavior that leaves a cloud of doubt over the credibility of each of your testimonies. Indeed, my lord, quite a miserable set of witnesses, this lot. I see. It would appear this trial has come to a sudden halt. Huh? So, that must mean... Quite right. It means you have won this trial, Mr. Wright. We've won. I can hardly believe the situation we have found ourselves in. I did not anticipate this trial ending with such a strange turn of events, but due to these witnesses' dubious credibility, I can see no reason to continue. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? As you wish, my lord. What is going on? They're actually going to let this witch run free through the town? Curses. If it wasn't for that witch and her friends...
Hold it!
What?
Wait a blooming second. This trial ain't even close to being over.
He's just called some guy.
Before I take the stand to testify. Order! Order! Who is this buffoon? Behold! Who am I, you ask? Who am I? Why? I'm the man that's gonna single-handedly save this trial. I'm the fifth witness.
Say what?
What?
Even Barnum didn't see this one coming.
I'd prefer that we just got done with the trial right now, but whatever. Whatever, I'll cross-examine him. Just as I thought, this trial was going down the drain before I got here. Okay, you lot, assemble. We need a strategy meeting, ASAP. I say, who are you? Thank goodness you showed up. We can't give up now, everyone. It has come down to this. To arms, everyone. We shall do battle against that baker and that hat seller. I can't believe this. What the heck is going on? Truly fascinating. It seems a new witness has taken the stand. What's more, he appears to be quite the formidable witness. Seems to be a jerk. Well, I guess this trial is still far from over. To be continued. Yeah. Do you want to save? Of course I want to save. We've been playing this game for almost 10 hours now. Well then, we will now continue with the trial of Ispella Cantabella. Or I have. Oh boy. A group of witnesses huddling up before a joint testimony in a witch trial. You can't make this stuff up. Inquisitor Barnum, if I may ask you a question. Yes, my lord? We now have 5 witnesses on the stand, so I must ask, why was this obnoxious-looking man left out of your initial group of witnesses? Baldy's right, Barnum. That's just cold-blooded. There is but one reason, my lord. I did not know this witness even existed, eh? You, sir, failed to come forward when we were asking for witnesses for this very trial. You were nowhere to be seen. That's 'cause I didn't hear a peep about it. I ain't usually around at night, except for maybe at Rogue's Tavern. Yeah, you're drinking their beer right now. So you're basically telling us that you were up all night drinking. Anyway, it's all water under the bridge now. Excuse me. So far as I'm concerned, just leave the rest to yours truly. Yeah. During the last interrogation, the defender brought forth some surprising proof. Whatever. I have never heard such a claim. It might be the doing of this logic. What rubbish. Logic, you say? I ain't got a clue what that is. But I do know that this bread baker, I don't know. What? Please get out. Just bye. But I do know that this bread-baking baker ought to head back to the bakery. Eloquently said, good lord. Oh hey, Gramps, give me and me partners over here a chance to speak. You want to know how the witch managed to be holding that scepter, don't you? Oh, when you say Gramps, you wouldn't mean me, would you? I fail to see anyone else meeting such a description. Well, we'll show you she's a witch. I'll bet Snowy's beautiful white coat on it. In guard. On guard. Alright, team, let's do this. Witnesses. Ahem, yes, well, let us proceed with the testimonies. Why do I feel like I've totally lost control of this situation? You have. Witness testimony. It's clear as day. Ispella is a witch. We are not backing down on this. When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands. You know, you'd probably sell more flowers if you didn't eat all of them. I am a comedian. Nice. Tell us a joke. The scepter must have been hidden by magic and carried on her back. The rogue grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding that scepter. That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick. So she had the witch's scepter behind her back, so then dropped the lantern and reached for the scepter after it fell. If that is the case, then it must have been possible for the accused to have used magic. This is bad. Thanks to this guy, now all the witnesses seem extra determined to pin this thing on Ispella. They each harbor a shared anger towards witches and magic. Such is the case of their strong desire to see a guilty verdict passed as quickly as possible. However, such confidence is undoubtedly bound to cloud their better judgment and thinking. Good lord. Knock knock, who's there? Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think these guys mean any real harm, but they're all riled up. They don't even realize how distorted their idea of what happened tonight has become. At least, that's how it seems. This isn't good, Professor. The witnesses aren't thinking straight. They're completely blind to the truth. Sir Baker, Sir Wright. Yes. You do not appear to be a mere simple baker, that much is clear. On the other hand, you are no ordinary defender either. Never before has a defender managed to clash and do battle with me here, on this battlefield as an equal. That's a compliment, Phoenix. Sir Blue Knight, this trial has not yet been decided. If there is any doubt in your interrogation, I will not hesitate to strike your case down where it stands. I understand. Defender, please begin your interrogation. Cross-examination. It's clear as day. Espella is a witch. We are not backing down on this.
Hold it!
She looks like she's liking it. Good lord. I'm not responsible to your well-being. Yeah, that's part of the song, actually. Not backing down, you say? Uh-huh, that's right. Espella is a witch. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. This is a courtroom, Miss Kira. We're not interested in your story. We're interested in the truth. You know what I think? I think stories have the power to touch our lives in really meaningful ways. What do you mean? Last year, I read a book about a flower girl who brought peace to the world with all the pretty flowers she sold. Because of that story, now I tell myself, Kira, one day you'll fill the world with beautiful flowers of your own. That story inspires me to sell more flowers. It's pretty much the same as this trial. What a very touching story. Indeed, I have heard nary a truer tale. Wouldn't you agree, Sir Blue Knight? Maybe it's just me, but I have had preferred something a little bit more relevant. Yeah, preferred. I'm afraid our logic may do us no good here. Let's move on to the next witness, shall we? Yeah. When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands.
Hold it!
No matter how many times we ask, you still say you didn't see the scepter, huh, Gramps? I ask you, youngling, were you paying attention to this trial? Yes. Well then, magic made the scepter invisible, did it not? Thus, my old age clouding up my vision has nothing to do with anything. The scepter actually vanished. How'd you like my preference? Good? Performance, yeah, pretty good. No, what I'm saying is, if it really was invisible, you wouldn't be able to actually prove it. Not so, young one. We can prove it. The girl is a witch. There's your proof. So, my old age clouding up my memories has nothing to do with anything. The scepter magically vanished, you see? Okay, we got it. When the lantern fell, you claimed the scepter was still not in her hands, so that means... The scepter must have been hidden by magic and carried on her back.
Hold it!
The witch's scepter was behind her back. Well, it's like my little snowflake here. Whenever my darling gets too heavy, I hoist him up and carry him on my back. You mean your baby goat, right? Yes, that there isn't a cuter little goat in the entire courtroom, right, Precious? Espella is like 9, right? No. She's like 19. I know it's been asked already, but you didn't see the witch's scepter, did you? If not, I'm not happy. Oh god. For legal reasons, that's a joke. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna hold up in court. Well, no, but it must have been made invisible by magic and then put on her back. You know, Snowy is still such a tiny little thing. If I put him on my back, you can hardly see him. I hardly see the point of that comment. So the accused grabbed the witch's scepter after the lantern fell. The rose grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding that scepter.
Hold it!
Are you alright? What? Why? Why? Well, for one thing, you're hiding behind what I assume is a shield. Well played, Blue Knight. You managed to see through my steel guard technique. And I'm not 18. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes it better. Your steel what technique? You tried to penetrate the depths of my mind and deceive me once with your witchcraft of words. But you will find your words are futile against the strength of my shield, crafted from wood harder than steel. Now then, have at you. Attack me if you dare. No, just listen a second. Looking at this sketch, it's quite clear the accused could not have held the scepter in the same hand carrying the lantern. Witness, explain to the court just how the accused held the scepter. That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick.
Hold it!
She put the milk bucket down? That's right. Reckon if she did that, she'd have no problem holding that thing. But none of the other witnesses have said anything about seeing her put the bucket to the ground, on the ground. Ah, but, wait, hold on, what? I'm pretty sure it's her. Ah, but no one said a thing about her not seeing her put the bucket down, right? Alright, so I'm pretty sure... Oh, 2 of them. Every single one? I have a feeling hers is going to be the most useful. Excuse me, Miss Mary. Huh? You mean Snowy and me? Tell me, what do you think of the witness's testimony just now? The accused placed the bucket on the ground. No one had said anything about this until now. Ah, that... Well, must be how it happened. The girl probably placed the milk bucket on the ground, yes. Not sure if you're sure about that.
Objection!
Miss Mary, you did not mention anything to that effect in your previous testimony. And yet you clearly stated that the one thing you were specifically focused on, more than anything else, was the milk bucket. Ergo, you should be able to confirm to the court whether or not the bucket really was placed on the ground. One's memory is not flawless, Sir Blue Knight. Pay attention to what the witness was saying. That the accused probably placed the milk bucket on the ground. There is the possibility such was the case. Yes, that's right. Isn't it, my cute little pumpkin? My cuddle pumpkin. I know it. There's something fishy about her testimony, but, indeed, it would seem we require a decisive piece of evidence. If we are to expose the contradictions in these witnesses' testimonies, yeah, I just have to think of what that could be. It's clear as day. Espella is a witch. We are not backing down on this. When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands. The scepter must have been hidden by magic and carried on her back. The rose grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have held it another way instead of holding that scepter. That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick. These testimonies, something's definitely not right here. What do you think, Nick? What are you doing? Okay. There's no way that this disappearing scepter explains what actually happened. No one saw anything. How can anyone prove it was there? She's a bruh. Okay. Alright. I'm tired. I mean, no one saw anything. How can anyone prove it was there? Oh god, now it's suddenly cold in here. This is starting to get really annoying. They can talk all they want about an invisible scepter, but no way is anything slipping under my radar. I do believe that is correct, Mr. Wright. Somehow we must find a clue that leads us to another opening. Yeah, you're right. And I think Mr. Personality over there may be the key to doing that. Okay. Alright, I don't really think that everyone else's reactions are important necessarily. That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick. Yeah. The milk bucket Espella was carrying at the time of the crime. Mary brought it back to her farm.
Objection!
Yeah. You know, the lantern was on the ground, it was covered in mud. However, the bucket was on the ground and it wasn't covered in mud. So I think I probably could have presented either the lantern or the bucket, and both would have been, you know, alright. But I do think the bucket makes more sense anyways. What you talking about? It had only just stopped raining moments before the crime took place. As a result, the ground was very muddy indeed. And again, I do think this is a case where I also could have presented the lantern, because it's an example of something that did get muddy, whereas what he's talking about he's testifying it couldn't have gotten muddy. So, yeah. But, you know, either way. If Miss Cantabella really placed this bucket on the ground, like you claim she did, then it should be caked with mud, just like the lantern was after it fell. Well, I'd say that clears up your muddy testimony, wouldn't you? Ah, Well, hey, Barnum. Oh, wow. You're just gonna sit there looking pretty? Come on, give me a hand here. Flattery will get you nowhere, witness, other than perhaps the dungeon. At any rate, there is but one question we ought to ask. Why is there no mud on that bucket? To the witness with the goat, may I ask you a question? Huh? Are you talking to us? Indeed, you admitted to the court that you returned home and with the milk bucket. Illegally, I might add. My oh my, such harsh words, Inquisitor. Well, he's not wrong. When you took the bucket home, you must have simply wiped the mud from the bucket, is that correct? You know, now that you mention it... Oh, come on. No way, don't tell me... That milk bucket... Ah, that's right, I remember now. I don't know what was on the... I don't know if what was on the bucket was mud exactly, but it certainly was dirty. Before taking it inside with me, I remember wiping it clean with an old rag. Are you kidding me? Exceptional work, Inquisitor Barnum. Right, it all makes perfect sense. See, we were right all along, weren't we, Inquisitor Barnum? I knew that sword weren't just for show. Yeah. Barnum, you sliced his argument in two. Witness, Miss Mary. What is it? You're absolutely sure there was mud stuck to this milk bucket? Oh my. Well, truth be told, I don't remember I don't remember whether it was mud exactly. But I do remember cleaning the bucket off when I got home. Urgh. Bruh. It would seem the defense has failed to disprove the witness's claims. Of that we can be quite certain. Har har, that'll teach you, Bluey. You got it right. Do me a favor, will you, Gramps? I want to change my testimony just a tiny bit. I will allow it, only if the witness refrains from name-calling in the future. You got it, m'lord. Well, all this court mumbo-jumbo has left me thirstier than a dog in a desert. Yeah. Bruh. Psst. Are you done yet? That witch there was holding the stick. I even heard her say the incantation thingy. That's right, I witnessed it all. But no one knows for sure if Miss Cantabella dropped that milk bucket on the ground. Because there's no mud in it. Is that what you're saying? Hey, we went over this already. We know that goat lady wiped off of the mud. However, Miss Mary doesn't clearly remember whether or not it was mud that was stuck on the bucket. We really don't remember, but maybe. I guess maybe there was mud on it. I mean, she couldn't hold the scepter without putting the bucket on the ground. Bah. Miss Mary, please give a definitive answer. You all done, Bluey? Talk all you want, 'cause it ain't gonna help. You see, the five of us, we saw what that witch went and did. We saw it clear as day. Huh? Oh, it's him. Excuse me, mister? Earth to Gramps? Bruh. Defender, when you say Gramps, might you by any chance be referring to me? No, of course not, Your Honor. Mr. Wordsmith, are you listening? I heard you quite clearly the first time, young man. These ears hear all. The crackling of the fire, the whispering of the crowd, and now your voice. If that's the case, then allow me to ask you a question. You were clearly deep in thought just now. Do you have something to say about this man's testimony? Indeed so. I felt something was amiss. However, what that means, I cannot say. Amiss? Witness, could you tell us? What precisely was amiss with this third-rate testimony from this third-rate witness? What a burn, Barnum. 5 heads are better than 1, 10 eyeballs are better than 2. As I listened to this man's testimony, I could not help but become aware of something most odd. Tonight, when the crime occurred, we all made haste to that terrible scene. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated through the air. The shadows of those present cast through the dim light. And yet, there were but 4 figures standing in the vicinity, myself included. 4? Hold on a second. You're saying that there were only 4 witnesses at the crime scene tonight? These eyes may be old, but they know what they saw. Is something the matter, Miss Mary? No, it's just that Snowy and I are trying to remember what happened at the time. I remember the flames erupting into the air. That's when Snowy and I made our mad dash to save the precious milk, good lord. And when those 2 ruffians were set ablaze, the flame filled the area with light. Yeah, something like that. In that sudden flash of light, we could see that there were other people around, besides ourselves. And that's when I saw them, the other people that scrambled to the scene along with us, good lord. I'm quite sure of it. There were only 4 of us there at the scene of the crime. Hold on, madam. What in the blaze is going on here? We have 5 witnesses on the stand, all claiming to have witnessed tonight's events firsthand. That means we have 1 witness too many? I think it's the night guy, or the guy who wants to be a knight. Don't be stupid. Boy, you lot better stop speaking out of turn. All for one and one for all, remember? We all promised to take this witch down together, didn't we? It's not quite that simple. We saw what we saw. Well, I say it's all about the numbers, and I counted, I say. I'll have you know my counting is flawless. On nights when sleep eludes me, I can count sheep from moonrise to sunrise. 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses. What difference does it make? Things all started getting muddled when you showed up. What the... You saying it was my fault? I was there, you fool. Didn't I just finish saying that? My testimony is strong as steel, even if it's not completely stainless. Order, I said order. What is going on here? You claim the number of witnesses does not add up? I have never paid witness to such an outrageous conflict. There is but one answer to this puzzle, a single possibility. What do you mean? Without a doubt, magic must have been used at the scene of the crime. Furthermore, it would indeed appear that there were only 4 witnesses present at the scene, and yet currently we are faced with 5 witnesses testifying to the court. That certainly is quite a fatal contradiction, with only one possible answer. Would you not agree, Mr. Wright? The answer, it can't be. Well, yeah, one of them is just a fake witness then. Well, out with this supposed answer, Sir Blue Knight. Wait, was Miss Cantabella not even there? What is your explanation for the current number of witnesses? They didn't see things correctly. The witch cast a spell on them. One of them is the witch. Yeah, I'm just going to say that straight up. While it may seem far-fetched, the reality is actually quite simple. Rather simple. The real witch, and the real murderer in this case, is actually one of these 5 witnesses. What? What? You're telling us that the witch is amongst this group of witnesses? What utter rubbish! There is no possible way that such a claim could be true. That's right. You've got a lot of nerve accusing one of us of being a witch. Yep, I remember that. Hail PewDiePie. That was a song I made. It's quite a terrible song. We have told you nothing but the truth, yet you still have the gall to bat around such an outrageous accusation. Behold, as my trusty shield deflects your petty words like the petty words that they are. Inquisitor Barnum. Yes, my lord? I would like to see a sketch of the crime scene at the time of the incident. Do you have one in your possession? Yes, certainly, my lord. I have one here. I requested it from the court illustrator, just in case. Very well, witnesses. I would like each of you to mark your location at the time of the murder. Here on this crime scene sketch, quickly now. So I think what I'm going to do here is try to, some positions are going to have to contradict each other, and then, we'll just pick out the one that contradicts the other ones, and they must be the murderer, I guess, or at least, you know, it'll be a pretty good indicator. The number of witnesses doesn't add up. It looks like we're getting somewhere now, but we haven't even scratched the surface of this case yet. And it's all thanks to this top hat wearing gentleman. Yeah. Very gentlemanlike. The court accepts this crime scene sketch into evidence. Area map, a sketch of the scene at the time of the crime. Touch details to see more. If one of the witnesses is the witch, then that could only mean one thing. Someone here isn't telling the truth. That would indeed appear to be the case, Mr. Wright. No, I'd rather not. I'm just gonna play the game. Listen well, Sir Blue Knight. The path you tread now is a dangerous one. Claiming that a witch is among these most honorable witnesses is a serious accusation. Should it prove to be a false one, I'm probably gonna get kicked out of court then. You will find yourself at the other end of my sword. Do I make myself clear? Huh, but that wasn't so much my suggestion. I mean, the gentleman here with the lovely top hat was the one who urged me to say it. It is the same thing, Sir Blue Knight. Indeed, it is the same thing, Sir Baker. It is the same thing, Mr. Wright. Oh boy. Now, ready your sword. Ready? Yeah, just use the spikes on your hair. Were you listening? You claim the witch is not the accused and that someone else at the crime scene was the true culprit? Yeah, let's see this. Sorry, she's pretty far away. Yeah. If what you say is true, then surely you can tell the court exactly where this person was at the time of the crime, can you not? Come now, Sir Blue Knight. Only you can enlighten us as to who this real witch actually is. Sir Doughy Defender. Show us where the witch was at the exact moment the murder took place. Alright, so that's, Espella. These are the two boys. Alright, that's the wannabe, knight. That's the flippin', goat lady. That guy. The weirdo. The rather attractive, flower seller. And, I guess we just gotta find, which flippin' one. Alright, this is probably going to be a guessing game. Alright, so it would have had to have been somewhere close here, I would assume. And this is really based on which one contradicts the evidence the most. Alright. Alright then. Alright, so this can't be contradictory, I mean, pretty much, but, alright. Alright, I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say it was him. However, crap, I can't save. Alright then. Well, at least we have, one more chance after this to save. The real witch was probably this person right here, I think. Probably. This person. I think. Bah. You're so bad at this defender stuff, it makes me... If I may, Mr. Wright, remember that if one of these witnesses is indeed the witch, then there's a high probability that that particular witness is not telling the truth. Do bear that in mind. So the witch must be lying, huh? If that's the case, that must mean a certain person wasn't where they claimed they were. That's when the witch must have cast Ignace, right? Take a look at the Grand Grimoire. We're bound to find something in there. Even if the witness is lying up a storm, whatever's inside the Grand Grimoire has to be the truth, right? A penalty, I assume. Sir Doughy Defender, do not waste the court's time with any more of such ridiculous answers. Oh, darn it. Sir Doughy Defender, show us the location of the witch during the crime. Alright, so the Grand Grimoire is telling us the truth. Ignace Inferno Spell summons a circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. Requires an incantation and scepter to cast. Vanishing Spell causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. Simply chant Amere to make it disappear. Alright then. So they have to not be telling the truth. And what's even worse is that I don't have a save point that's at exactly this spot, so whatever I do is going to take me back a decent way back. I mean I can get here in fairly quickly, but it's like, I mean, whatever I choose is just Alright, yeah, and I don't have a hint coin. But a hint coin would probably rule out some of the people, and that would make this a lot easier, but, So it wasn't him. So, I doubt it would have been her, though. You know what, I don't know. I mean, they all would have been able to have witnessed this, so... I have a feeling it's him who's lying. I think he's way too close. But I could be wrong. The real witch... No. Alright, so it's not him. It's not the other guy. Crap. Well. Let's just hope the save is close enough. Because I'm kind of like screwed at this point in time. Load save data. Yeah, where are we? Alright, so this was in the new witness was called. I guess not. I guess not awful, but still not great. I think what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to find a spot that I'm comfortable with saving at. And then I'm going to end the stream, because I have been doing this for almost an hour. And, you know, the plan is to do an hour every single day. So, once I get to that point, I'm going to quit the stream. But, yeah. And so if I recall correctly, the pointing out the contradiction with his testimony is the only thing that matters. That's easy. The girl just put... Yeah. Alright, so that's the contradiction that matters. And then they bring up the mud and... Alright. Yeah, I really should have saved a lot sooner, but there's no way of me... You know, there was no way I could have known, so, yeah. Wow. Alright, so I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna... I'm gonna present the evidence here.
Objection.
And then I'm gonna save, because it's actually gonna take a while to even skip back to where I was. So I'm gonna save. When I start up the new stream, I'll just skip. You know, I'll skip past all that to where I was, and yeah. But the good thing about failure is that now we know that that bearded guy couldn't be the one who did it, and the wannabe knight couldn't be the one who did it. So that rules it out to only 3 more people who could have possibly been the witch. So yeah. Although that was a complete and utter failure, we actually have made it closer to the truth. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm gonna quit playing for now. And I shall continue tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's probably gonna, I don't know how long I'll stream for tomorrow. Maybe a bit more than usual, or maybe not. Because I do have a feeling that we are really ending. We're getting near the end of this trial, so I think I think by the time we get to next stream, we'll probably be able to we'll probably be able to finish the trial, and because of that, we'll be able to get on to more of the actual game that's besides yeah. Anyways, I shall stop streaming, and hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed it partially. not partially. I did enjoy it. It's just that sometimes these games are difficult, and that's what makes them fun. But it's sometimes it's more of a love-hate relationship than it is a love relationship, because sometimes these games annoy you, but they're still fun. Anyways, again, see you next time, and Excelsior.